Welcome to PTA, boys and girls.
Welcome, SPHB, to 7. We have here the usual crew, as well as recurring face of late, but I'll let them introduce themselves. I'm Stapler.
Of course, yes.
Riz.
Of course.
DJ here.
DJ, our co-commissioner. And you've been in the fire for a couple people. Let's start with the big decision recently with waivers. What do you guys think about the order? And recently, you guys have been telling me that the order was changed, actually.
Yeah, so the consensus among staff was to try out the middle out order, which was proposed by Hashbounds last season. Last season, staff didn't actually vote to use it, but it was an interesting idea, so I guess we decided to give it a shot this year. So it's basically the middle teams go, and what the original order that Hashbounds proposed was based on the draft picks. So like person who had the 5th pick gets the first waiver, then the 4th pick gets the 2nd waiver, then 6th pick gets the 3rd waiver, and so on. So that's what I originally posted, and then it was actually changed very recently so that the 4th team gets the first waiver, and then 5th, and then 3rd, then 6th, and so on. And that was done. Hash and Pixels and a few other staff members decided that would be better than 5-4, like 6-3 like that, because the promoted team would get the first pick or the first waiver. So the team that's hypothetically the worst team moving into D1 would get the first waiver, as well as the cup winners of the last waiver. So I don't know. We'll see how it works out. I'm kind of indifferent, but I'll just go with whatever the other guys are feeling along with.
I don't know, you gotta be a little assertive, you know? That seems pretty arbitrary, that order. I mean, not something that's perfectly ideal, so maybe we put this to a vote or something, but I don't know. I'm sure there will be some discussions, forums,
I don't know, I mean,
public knowledge.
Some people will probably disagree with me, but I think that random is still the best way. But staff just voted.
No, not at all. This is a terrible idea. There's really no reason not to have it be last place team gets first waiver. Of course, there's openings for it to be exploited, but it's just the system that makes most sense, really. I don't see how you give Elite Four a later waiver than the Gunmen, Squares, and Turtles. Really, that makes zero sense to me. I don't know. Like, can you argue from a staff point of view, like, why they would deserve a higher waiver?
Well, there is also people have always complained every season that you're last place and you have some picks, then immediately you can become a contender. I don't think is necessarily supposed to happen under.
Okay, but we gotta help out the GM that's gonna fucking stay in place. Like,
yeah,
they're trying to look for next season, you know.
It still might be preferable, something more like that. Anyway, you got to reward bad teams somehow.
Yeah. And here's my second suggestion that I think we should be doing.
Okay.
This will encourage more people in the draft, and there's always people that sign up right after the draft to abuse stuff like this. I don't think people should be able to sign up until like week 4, or like halfway into the season.
Well, that's something that I can bring some knowledge from H-Bands, actually. They had a mid-season sign-up. I believe this season it was tossed out, and now you can't sign up mid-season at all. They didn't have a waiver before. They had like a mid-season draft, which was interesting, but now Dopeso actually completely changed it and only sign up at the beginning. So that certainly makes it a little more fair, say, but obviously some might not like that.
I wouldn't even mind that. I just think there's really almost no point to be in the draft. If like you're an elite player, you can just wait it out. Until you find that team, you find. I mean,
pretty
people
rare
sign
for
up
guys
right
to be
after
like
the draft.
Negbro and just.
Oh, and speaking about Negbro, can anyone explain with me what's the problem with him signing up?
Yeah, I'm not sure what I think the issue was like that him signing up in conjunction with the order. Obviously, he wasn't aware of it. Being to arguably one of the most competitive teams in the league, getting the first pick.
Well, now it's going to be Keys. Before it was Gunman, yeah.
So I guess that's better, but it's still pretty weird.
I mean, there's been a lot of people who like want him to be removed from it because he signed up with 0 to 10 and said I'm only showing up for the playoffs.
Well,
I don't know.
Muffin's done that every single time, but just at playoffs. I don't really see the difference.
Well, yeah, he has several posts saying he's just gonna be here for playoffs. So.
Yeah, and I fully believe him. He's not one of those players who
yeah.
will just lie about availability. So.
And if we're arguing that, how come y'all didn't remove Luffy from the draft? He signed up with 0 availability, said he wouldn't show, yet he was drafted to Chimmy's team where he's probably going to
show some consistency there. They haven't removed drag before,
GFP
or people
in previous
that drag wants to
seasons
drag.
when he tried to snake.
Yeah.
Other players like that.
I don't see it being that big a deal. That's just me and you, Prizzle, but...
Yeah, I mean, last year it was Nike was removing a lot of people from
Either you got to remove everyone, or just not at all.
I mean, I'm looking at the waiver order again. It's just you punished the teams who did bad last season, but kind of stuck through it. Like E4 and their GM stuck through it, and yet he has a later waiver than playoff teams. I mean, New York Hackswall Club, they're at the bottom pretty much. I don't really get that logic.
I don't know. I think it's a new system. I'm not really for or against it per se. Like I said, I'm kind of indifferent, but I'd like to see how it works out.
So can you explain again what's the basis, the reason behind this, other than, like, is there something that isn't arbitrary?
Well, it was focusing when it was initially proposed last season. They were talking about how they don't really want to favor the lower teams or favor the higher teams because there's going to be people complaining on both sides, and random, in my opinion, is just the best way to do it. But a lot of people are saying, then you never know what the results are going to be, and it could just be like, oh, the cup winners are going to get first waiver, or the best teams are going to get first waiver. So this idea was kind of trying to figure out how to make it so that it was a little, I don't know, just fair across the entire board, but at the same time, every single system is going to have its flaws, like you guys pointed out with NYHC. And the argument there is the fact that they had the first pick, but or at least they had the first pick in their name. Obviously, the Staplers had the first pick of a trade last season.
Right. Well, it's maybe not ideal, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
I disagree with Stapler that it's too arbitrary. Like, how do you exactly figure out where to put the keys? Because they weren't even in D1. But yeah,
that is
we
true.
can move on.
Well, that was...
I might be in favor of fully admin balling it. Like, kind of dumb, but like which teams, if you didn't have a first round pick, you can make like a system for it. If you didn't have a first round pick, you traded it away, and you finished in like the top half of the table, then you'd have X pick. You know what I'm saying?
Something like that even is going to be difficult with how much GM switches, people abandoning team.
I know. I like the idea that you guys talked about doing it middle of the season, but there's just been a lot of people pointing out that you don't want to encourage guys to throw games so they can get first waiver.
I don't think that would ever happen though. Like, teams actually tanking hasn't happened. It's just teams actually suck.
Like, I would probably still give it to the last place team, but just start it, I don't know, week 4. I don't know how long the season is going to be, like, in between, basically.
Is the schedule out yet?
No, it's not out. I have it actually set up. I have the entire schedule set. I just have to put it into the system.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, how long is the schedule roughly?
It's 21 games. So it's, it's
7 weeks? Yeah, it's the same as last
season. Is it 6 or 7?
It's 7 weeks technically in terms of games played, but it's 6 weeks because of that doubleheader week, which is a weird setup. But I don't know. Hash and I are still going to talk about that, whether that's actually going to happen. But for now, it's in the calendar, that doubleheader week. So we're going to try and get streams going. Hopefully, it'll be more heavily involved, but we'll see.
Okay. Let's just go ahead and move on to the draft.
Yeah, let's move on.
What was y'all's general reaction? Any like surprise picks?
The first round, the first thing that struck out to me was Breadman nailing like a good bit of the picks. Pretty rare in and of itself.
He did pretty
good. Yeah. Most drafts I think are just retarded. I will just say, but this one, Breadman's mock draft was on the money. Gotta give props to him.
Yeah, Blazer, 4th overall.
Oh, in his mock. He actually, well, I'll tell that story later, but Pavelski in first round, I mean, that's obviously stands out like a sore thumb.
Sure.
Does he still play Axwell, or because he was
He's been
awful when he
hosting a
played,
lot
but is
recently,
he okay
actually.
now?
He's
Did you
been
play in his
hosting.
room?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen him. I never saw him before, but he's still pretty decent, I think.
I don't know about that. Okay, then the other one is the Lions basically picked players who pub 24/7 outside of MTA.
Yeah,
How good are some of these players? Like, how good is Flair? I haven't really seen him.
I played with Flair today in my room, and he was doing really, really well. I was actually thinking about trading for him because I've seen him pub before, but he was like doing wall moves and stuff like that I was like just really impressed by.
Stapler, you had 5RR on your team, and you've had him on, I think, on some of your other teams. Do you think this could be the season he breaks out, or is he just always going to be a player
Man,
with
I was
like
considering
some
picking
potential?
him, but like second round, like 9th overall,
Uh-huh.
or fucking traded all my picks away.
Oh yeah,
I
you
think
make the super team.
we could definitely say that this draft class was probably the weakest ever, maybe.
No, no, no. What I've noticed over the last couple of seasons is that skill level generally of players is higher, but also there's lots of new names replacing old ones. So maybe not the level of the league changing that much, but the people playing in it, certainly all the old fags are gone.
Okay, yeah,
Also,
that's
there's
true.
less players in general. So if there's any skill change, more because of the pool itself becoming smaller. But average player, I don't think is.
I guess we also got to take in consideration the fact that a lot of teams had keepers, so a lot of the good players weren't even going to
Yeah,
be
I
in the
think more than
draft.
most teams, more than most drafts, players were generally happy. They had like, say, the gunmen. They only finished fourth, or they finished fifth, but then won their play-in game. So you can say it was a successful season. More often, unlike most seasons, that most teams say they had a successful season.
What availability did Jeff sign up as?
Like nothing, I'm pretty sure. I'm
Okay,
surprised
well,
he fell all
that's
the way
another one
down
we'll have to watch. Because Breadman went before Addy, Jeff, Josh.
Jeff signed up with 0 to 10. I PM'd him during the draft. He said, "Don't pick me."
there.
See, I don't get why admins are not removing people like him. Him and Luffy and
Because
others.
you just know he's not going to be 0-10, and everyone knows it. So it's like,
What? I don't know.
if someone was going to pick him, they would have picked him. Like, it's about his availability at all.
Also, I
person-
do have to apologize to the Sluts organization for picking Blazer. I kind of was fucking around in the chat. I told them the squares were gonna pick him. I guess they believed me or whatever. But someone did tell me that Blazer's been playing on Elias, so you never know.
I heard
Elias,
that, and
bro, why do we
KPA
never know how to pronounce shit? Embarrassing.
So you
KPA
never know.
also said that he's sending PMs to him, so apparently he's alive.
See, be back
My-
maybe.
I'd say the person who was drafted the lowest and who I thought would have gone much higher was Stotch. What do you guys think, Stock?
Yeah, sure.
He's kind of like Tavares. You don't want to have to listen to him, bitch.
Yeah, personality, and also I think like I've gone back and forth on him, giving him shit or praising him a lot. I think he's just found his role, and that's to be one of the most effective fifth men.
I think hopefully him and Rail will do well together on the Storm if they end up staying on the same team. But Stotch has always kind of been like a CP, in my opinion. So
No, he's actually really versatile, but I don't know if he's defensive enough. Able to
He's a
play
solid
well
player.
next to Wheel.
I'll give him that.
I want to talk about the Elite Four and the Keys, though. I mean, Keys, since you're right here, you had an interesting draft. Like, you draft a lot of quality players that I think you might have expected to. How would you rate your own draft?
I mean, for me, the biggest thing was determining people's availability there, like Spart, Irving. We had a lot of good guys. The one person who's still really I'm up in the air about with is Comedian because he's like a player with a lot of D1 experience, but he like
A lot of D1 experience. Hello?
I don't know. He has more minutes than D1 than in D2 at least.
Maybe back in the day when D.
But yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, how is he going to be an active player? I think I did. I had Miles on my team, and then I traded for Yigi, so I think that I was able to work back a little bit into a more competitive area.
Yeah, if you can get Yigi playing, I think be confident about making at least playing, at the very least.
I think you guys are 1 player away from being pretty good, and 2 players away from having a team that could maybe upset a contending team. You get Yugi and Spart, especially if Spart plays. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, Prizzle, remember Keys now have first waiver, right? So you have Neg?
Oh yeah, that's who I would recommend them getting.
Yeah, like 100%. This early in the season, that also means if you use it, you'll probably get a top pick in waivers as well.
Spart and Neg would be an interesting duo. They're both a lot of offensive talent. I wonder how they would mesh.
Well,
Miles isn't good enough in the mid though, so it'd be up to Docs to see if he can prove it. Miles is straight ass. I don't
think
know
I
why
would
any
have
team gets him.
considered putting Yigi at mid and someone like Miles at goalkeeper.
Oh no, he's
Yeah,
you don't want to
Although
see that.
honestly, Miles only plays goalkeeper well for Lindros. I don't know.
everyone plays good next to Linjo.
But yeah, I think you guys had a solid draft.
What was the
What is the plan for Docs then,
Elite.
like right now?
Oh yeah, Docs, man. I'm really high on him. Real shame
Yeah,
I didn't
I
get to pick
played
him.
with
He
him
sent me so
today.
many PM.
Yeah,
What?
I played with him today.
What's the
He
plan
was
with
doing
him?
well. I don't know. He played D
Underrated
forward
somehow.
for I don't know if his first. I don't think it was his first season, but he played for D forward for the Elite Four when we played them in the finals. Season 25?
Oh really? I completely forgot about that.
And he like in the finals, he scored the majority of their goals. So
Oh right.
if he's down to play D forward, I'd definitely put him there. Miles' availability is a question, so maybe he'll be mid and Yigi at goalkeeper. And then the forwards, Dr. Felly has been showing up actually a lot. He showed up to our practice today, and Spart, put them up there together, and maybe we'll be able to
It's weird how
bust a little bit.
Spart got picked really, really high, and Jeff so low that I got him.
Well, I feel like
That'd be the
Spart signed up
difference.
with availability.
Yeah, Spart
don't
was
know.
like 80 to 90 or 70 to 80, I think.
Has he
But with
told
those
you
guys,
about
it's the
team?
same every season. It's like if your team's fun and
Well,
don't
yeah,
get to
that's why
play,
you had
then
to
they'll
remove
show
people
up.
like Jeff from the draft, and that's why you have to delay the sign-up period. Which, that's what I was mentioning earlier. It kind of stops shit like that. If they're not going to sign up with real availability, you just keep them from playing for a while. I don't know. But as he said, like, is he happy to be on the team, or like, what's the general feeling with your team so far?
I mean, Smart hasn't reached out to me yet. I'm sure I could just find him on TeamSpeak if I wanted to. But yeah, I know Docs is really looking forward to getting time. Yigi said, he'll be able to show up to most games. He told me, so that's definitely helping us out. Some of the other guys, Felly said he's like 2 out of 3 games usually. So and I'm looking at Smiley at goalkeeper because I know he was kind of like a joke a little bit, but I thought he was looking at some of his replays. He played well in D1 for the 4 games that he got in.
Yeah, with a competent team, sure. Same with Comedian. You could easily stick him there in a quality team. And
Yeah, another team that I thought had a good draft was Elite Four Prizzle. You talked about that.
Yeah, I think they had a pretty good draft.
Cell, Jacko, Splat. I think Splat is really underrated. They got Addy. I don't know if Addy's going to show or not. Probably not. But Crumbler, Ben
No,
runs
he only
this.
ever shows when he can be carried by other people.
I think Ben runs this is good. I don't know. You guys told me you're not on the same page, but I still think he's one of the more underrated players.
I don't know. I think he's alright. I think it's fine to pick him where you picked him.
Yeah, I could see him filling in like a 5th man role there.
Oh, never mind. You didn't pick him. Okay, E4,
Prizzle.
yeah.
Prizzle,
Uh huh.
how do you rate my draft?
I mean, who else did you get? I don't know.
You
I
got
feel
Lindros
I
and
can't
Jeff.
rate that draft just because Jeff's kind of like a scummy pick.
Jeff! What do you mean scummy?
Come on,
I-
everyone. Okay, here's the thing. Everyone knows he's going to be active, but a team like you can take a risk on him. While if you're the Keys, if you try to take Jeff with your second round pick, oh well, you're fucked. If he doesn't show.
No, you would be fine picking him second round as long as the rest of your team's good. Picked Spart in him, it would be guaranteed autism. Probably shouldn't do that.
I don't know. I feel like he's more willing to show with a team that has names like yours instead of like E4. You put him on that team. I mean, has Cell and everything.
Let's
but
talk about E4. I
No
mean,
back lane.
picked Cell, so it's kind of a no-brainer, but apparently had availability issues, and Cell's been playing on non-elite teams recently, whereas he'd made a trend of being on good teams. Not like from his own play. He's been a player.
I don't
but-
know about that. He's played on good teams.
Yeah,
LA
but I
was in
mean,
the
he's
Cup.
gone from being on like the Squares Cup contending team, or maybe I haven't been around as long as you, but with Cell's previous history, sort of like that, where he'd be on playoff teams mostly.
I think it was more like he's the best player on the team, whereas before,
Yeah. I think that's kind of rare
Well-
for him in his history.
I think one thing the teams have lessened, but also, I mean, he went on LA. They went to the Cup. I wouldn't say they were elite, but so I can see your argument there.
That's true.
The Turtles,
he's
they were
always been
expected to
consistent.
contend.
That's for
But I
sure.
think he's really, his play has gotten very, very dull. Predictable
Man,
these days.
since the Princes, I just look down on ball now as much as possible. Try to
Yeah,
avoid
but
that.
of course, he's still a very good player.
Basing a team around him, though, it's a solid strat.
I don't think Splat's that great.
Flat man, he's underrated.
I don't know.
I was really surprised playing against him. He fucking slimed.
I played against
good.
him, and I didn't. I think Aereo is way better than him.
Oh, you know what he did tell me though, because he said like something about the fact that Ireland doesn't have, what's it called, daylight savings time. So games are actually at 2 a.m. for him, so he's not gonna be able to not be able to show up until like mid-June.
Oh yeah, then you gotta deal
Oh,
with
well,
that.
that's a fucking killer blow right there.
I think the player to watch on E4 is Crux. Maybe see if he can step up.
Who the hell is
Yeah.
that?
That's Blue.
He goes by UV also.
Or
Did he change his
that.
name again? He's Genesis on the. Did he make a multi? That's a joke.
I don't know.
You
but
know, Genesis UV already has an account, right?
No, it
Wow,
was UV. He
exposed
changed his
on the
name.
air. Have his kick.
Oh, maybe
too.
I don't know.
All right, we'll let that pass. But yeah. Any other reactions y'all had to the draft? I mean, kind of underwhelming in some parts.
Oh, you know what? I thought the SEAL Team 6 had a great draft. Obviously, they had a ton of
Yeah, we can talk about
high-ranking
the D2
picks.
contenders.
I mean,
Field Team
I don't know
6 for
about Chinny
sure.
or Drag. Chinny or Drag probably aren't going to play. So their second round picks were kind of a waste. But
Oh no, they'll play. I bet.
I thought Nap is a good pick for D2. Luffy, I don't know if he's going to show, but I think that the guys he surrounded with, him and Chinny were at least good friends. Guido, that was a stupid pick. I don't think Guido's going to play at all.
He'll play for them. He has before with those guys.
Was
He was literally on
serious about
Pixies with
moving to
Drag
Atlanta?
for a while, and he helped win the cup. If you don't remember that.
They have like
Yeah,
a lot
Guido
of good
pick.
players, but I don't know if they're all going to show up.
I thought the Nap
Prizzle
pick was
Colin
good.
was
Can
scummy.
anyone tell me why like Nap went so late?
I don't know. Nap's really good. He did awesome in my tournament. I think a couple players made a name for themselves, like G Baller. More people paid attention.
And who is Sniper? Is
He's
Sniper
another pub
Istiklal?
player.
Like all these players going before him and a few others. Like I would have taken a risk on Josh as well later. He kind of went a little late. I mean, he went after Breadman. I mean, I guess the Huskies have to get people that'll play D2, but still.
I think people were kind of surprised at how competent Bubblegum drafted. I mean, he's had some pretty dumb teams, like Shoes, Luke, and Gary pretty hard.
Oh, I left that team with nothing. That's my fault.
Dan went on it later. Anyway, it's actually a pretty quality team. It's probably the cup favorite, but the other contenders I'd like to mention are Huskies, who still somehow have Diego, who never released, so who knows what's going on with him. He could easily just show up all of a sudden. They have Frank, Zelos, who's dead, definitely, but the rest of the
I
team's
could see the
memes.
Storm doing well. I could see the
but-
Storm because put Atticus in goal.
Yeah, the
Rail
Storm as
and
well.
Stock are gonna show up. I mean, Stock always shows,
Bless,
and Rail.
Bless drafted really, really well. Like,
Yeah. I
Oh,
agree
did they
with that.
release Appa? The Huskies? That's a mistake.
they had to release somebody, I think.
Yeah, they had to
Full
release
roster.
a bunch of guys because that was like they drafted after the draft. I think their roster was like 12 people, and Hash
That
Browns
was the
wanted to
reason
get
for
everybody
their
down to
3/8
8.
for 1/8
Okay.
dumb trade.
We gotta also mention the PTA favorite team for the past 2 seasons, the now Gatsby's.
Bees,
I
man,
mean-
I can't believe it's a team.
Is this their season?
they got Thunder and Flu, so if those guys show up,
Yeah.
they'll immediately be like top 4 at the very
And they
least.
they have Gats Chamberlain with a cup-winning pedigree.
Now he's an established presence in D2. Got that going for him.
I think they have some players also with some energy that are gonna go in and compete for spots. I mean, Glegg and Aiden
Yeah,
23,
yeah.
they're gonna bring it.
23, man. Such padded
Aiden
stats.
was a joke. I mean, I thought it was great how he was being picked up by D1 teams in the past few seasons. But I think he hasn't played in a while. But if he could get on Rusty, he's not a bad guy.
I think it's rubbed off with
He's
him.
like the next G baller almost.
Yeah. If you hang around with all these good players, no matter how bad you are, you're gonna get a little better. It's like Breadman getting picked to. He's been on some D1 teams before, and it's definitely rubbed off. He is a meme pick. Being picked that high again, I'm sure he'll be frustrated. But
Maybe it'll
Ended
rub
up
off
in
on me
D2
this
still.
season. Most
but-
improved D1 DJ Khaled.
You know, I'm gonna make a
I'll be paying attention, DJ.
preseason prediction right now for D2.
That?
The Sluts are gonna make the playoffs.
Dude, I believe
The Sluts
They
are gonna
got
make the
Luke.
playoffs.
Sean and a bunch of memes again.
Plug.
But if Blazer shows up, Plug is a good player. They can do something.
Actually, we're about to run out of our D2 minutes right now, so get
Yeah.
any
our
prediction you have about
allocated
D2 right now. We can't talk about D2 that
Let's
much longer.
let's predict the last place team. I'm gonna go
Any
ahead and go
predictions?
Raptors.
I was gonna say Dinobots too.
Fucking.
I'm gonna go with Huskies.
Really?
I think they'll fall apart. Shout out to Burr though.
They got Frank, man. They can always trade him and get some players in. But
Yeah.
who knows?
I'm just thinking Frank might not like it. Hercules could be dead. Zelos will play 2 games and probably
Yeah,
die
it
off.
could easily go tits up. That's for sure.
It's gonna be my sleeper pick.
Raptors, though, everyone wants out
Oh,
of
yeah.
that team. I guess Raptors alive again, miraculously,
Yeah, somehow
right
they.
after the draft.
I don't know how they do it. Okay, go ahead and move on to my power rankings. Just want to have y'all kind of comment. Don't really know much about the league anymore, but here they are. Number 1, of course, I have the staplers, not the lines. I have the staplers.
Yeah.
Y'all have any argument about that?
Oh. If they don't have Neg, then the Gunmen, no, they're definitely a clear second.
I don't know. Okay. Number 2, I have the squares. Number 3, I have the gunmen. And then there's a big gap. I have 4 of the keys. 5, I have Elite 4. 6 turtles. 7 lions, and 8 New York Hexball Club. I don't know. Y'all disagree with any of those, or what do you think?
I think Gunman should be second, in my opinion. I don't know. Hash Browns always gets a good team together, and he has. I think his starting lineup right now would be him, Star, Under, and TGFP. I think probably put TGFP in goal. You
Well-
think? What would you put Under in goal and TGFP
Well, yeah.
forward?
Either that, or maybe TGFP. No, I probably wouldn't put him mid. I'd probably put him forward. I mean, he can just hold the wall. Be an Addy type player for him.
Yeah, they'll be a normal season. Kind
I
of
know.
disappointment after last season, but they'll make playoffs.
I'm just
I don't know,
not
I feel
buying
like
the gunman hype.
Hefe, Diablo, Compass, and Watts and Fruit are going to do well.
I'm not saying they won't do well. I mean, I have them number 3.
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
them 3?
I
Wait a
get that,
second.
but
I
I
have
still
Squares
think
number
that it should be second.
You have squares too. What a joke.
I think they're a
Right?
better team. I
See-
think if you make them play right now, the Squares
No, I
win
don't-
that pretty easy. I think this
Okay,
gunman
If you
group, they're
pick
going
and
to be
play right
good,
now,
but I don't see how it's going to mesh, really.
Dude, Compass somehow is underrated by you. Unbelievable. He's elite, man.
yeah, dude.
Tell
Awesome
you
I don't
first
see
has,
how
hand.
I don't see how
Awesome
I'm
has him in
underrating him.
his North American national team or whatever.
What?
Awesome has Compass as one of his forwards in the North America team for the
Oh,
Nations Cup.
okay. That's awesome. I didn't say he was bad, but I don't think this team is going to mesh very well. I mean, Hefe, he's not that special of a player. Diablo is a little bit overrated. Compass is good. Fruit, I just think he's a pretty solid GK in forward, but I don't know if he's amazing anymore. But he's good.
I think he's a better goalkeeper. I don't know.
I think he just splits time between the both that he hasn't really. I mean, I guess you could call him an elite GK with what we have left, but I don't know.
Anyway,
I think
keep
this
going.
team will definitely get Diablo to show up, though.
Oh yeah, I think he'll show up. I just think he's a little overrated.
For me, the 4-5-6 team. So I think you said what Keys? Do you say Keys Elite Four Turtles or Keys Elite Four?
Keys
Lions?
Elite Four Turtles.
Okay, I think I would put the Lions above Turtles in my opinion right
And
now.
I have a big gap between 3 and 4. Like that's a pretty
yeah,
big gap.
that's definitely
I think
understood.
the Turtles, picking Pav that high was kind of a meme pick. But it might actually work out because they picked Archie. They have wins. I don't know who the hell fucking Will TM is, but
He was like from like season 12 or something when I looked it up his profile. But he's
he's got history.
He's been pubbing recently.
Yeah.
He's not too bad.
He used to pub a lot. Kind of like Extempia style player.
The good part about that team is at least every single person on that team is active.
The problem with a team like this is when it goes against a very good team and like it's a lot of corner ball and defense, they won't win. They just don't have the team for it. And actually, I wanted to ask you about your team, Stapler. What's the lineup looking like as far as positions?
Dude, Jeff starting goalie.
Oh, you don't.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you, man.
What's it looking like? I have an idea what it is.
I'm not kidding at all. Jeff starting goalie.
Really,
Okay,
I think I
what's
would
the
put
rest of
shot
it?
at goalkeeper.
Him or a shot at GK, but yeah, to be serious, one of them.
I thought it was gonna be Pixels GK.
Nah, absolutely not. Forward.
Well,
Okay, so what's it looking like
it's
then?
kind of weird though because Pixels and Nantes both play CP and they really don't like to play defense.
No,
No,
Nonsense is a
Pixels.
D for
What are you
it.
talking about? They
Nonsense
both
is
play a
known for
lot
D
of
for it.
defense. That's why it'll work. And also, I want Pixels to hold down the D because he's won a cup next to Nika doing it. I
Okay,
want
that's
Nantes
true.
to get known for being the quality forward that he is. Not just a defender, like top player.
You know, MVP last season, MVP season
Yeah.
22.
All right, well
Or
that
23.
leaves 2 of your starters from last season on the bench. I mean, are they happy
Oh,
with that?
Blade
Or
is
like,
fifth man.
I think
He's
that
already accepted that.
Pixels trade kind of made Blade say "fuck you."
also, that's another thing I want to point out. The league needs to get its shit together. They approve way too many trades and cancel them. Like that used to never be done. It's kind of ridiculous right now.
I think it was Under who initially passed that trade, and every single person on staff except for Pixels was like, "This trade's got to get reversed."
There's
Like,
that
what the hell?
trade. There's the Seals trade. There's been several in the off season too.
Yeah, that was Pixels. Pixels approved the Seals trade, and Hash Browns like messaged me about it during the draft. Like, what are we supposed to do? These picks were already happened. Like, why was this approved?
I guess it's too late to do anything, and it's a fifth, so you're not going to do anything, or what?
Well, I don't know. He said he's still deciding about it, and then he hasn't gotten back to me. He's been a little bit busy, so.
Heard that before.
All right, but any comment on my bottom half? It was 4 Keys, 5 Elite Four, 6 Turtles, 7 Lions, and 8 New York Hexball Club.
I think I would switch Lions and Turtles. I don't know. I just think that if the players on their team show up, I think Fees is a really good forward. I think he's underrated, and he's kind of motivated to play recently since he was just unbanned. Flossie switched to playing GM. I think he'll probably mid on this team. 5LR in goal, and Flair or MTA is the other
Flossie
forward.
always finds a way to put some memes on it.
I feel like this team is going. Oh, go ahead.
He's told me he's going to try to forward season.
Yeah, I
Okay,
feel like
that
this
could work.
team is going for like a team ball pass around style, but I feel like it's just going to be too slow and they just don't have the talent.
I mean, I could see that happening, but at the same time, I think Fossey is one of the GMs who does a good job at really
sure,
trying to
for sure.
improve the other players around him. Even if he's not like the top tier guy, he makes sure that everyone's trying to get better over the season.
We could see them make some noise from up in spot, I think.
They will be active, so I mean, they'll be able to pick up points that way.
Definitely. Could see him sneak in, play in. Sure.
Regarding like New York Hacksball Club, I don't know. They're trying to like revolve the entire thing around Scott, and he's just kind of upset at the fact that who does he have around him? Because Conte's not showing up at all. He has G-Baller at forward. Osim's putting himself in the lineup there at mid, I'm assuming.
Oh, no way. I gotta watch
He
this
just
game.
needs Chewbacca to show up.
No, look out
Ouch.
for Red Mousy.
Yeah, Red
as
Mousy
well. He's
should be in
actually
the
really
starting
good.
lineup.
It's probably an Elias.
I don't know, but I think he's probably one of the most underrated players in this league right now.
Yeah,
he should
definitely.
have been in contention for MVP last season, I think, for D2. Because he's probably one of the reasons that the Sluts were able to be at least a contender for the
And
playoffs
people
by
don't
the
talk
end.
about the Sluts enough. Him and G-Baller, and KPA, they've all come a long way, I think.
I don't know, I still think that Red Mousy is probably... I don't know if he's going to start in this lineup, but I think that he should be starting.
He should
up.
get 5th Man of the Year consideration, for sure. Let's move on to just purely awards. 5th Man of the Year?
I mean,
guys
obviously
think?
people are going to say Blade because he'll come in and pretty much.
Okay, but the
you know,
question is how
when
much
you're
is he
already up
actually going to play?
4-0.
He might not even play enough to get consideration. You feel me?
I'm gonna
Because
give a
Pixels
shout
and
out to
Nantes make
Hacksbob.
like every single game.
I'm going to go with Crux on Elite 4.
Yeah, I think we could see somebody like Red Mousy, Crux get some votes for sure.
Whoever
What-
5th man's on Gunman as well.
How about Hacksbob?
Rembodach could get some 5th of the Year consideration.
Honestly, I don't
You
think
say
that the-
Hacksbob?
I was joking. I don't think the Spurs are going to even have a 5th man. They all show up to every single game. They're probably going to sign up like Dynamo halfway through the season. I don't know.
Dynamo is
Maybe
going to sign up for sure for them.
maybe MTA shows up for the Lions.
Who do you guys have taking MVP? I mean, Staplers have what some people would call the top 3 players in the league, so can you give anyone on
Lindros.
that team MVP?
Lindros.
Can you give it? Well, no, what I'm asking you, can you give it to Staplers when they possibly have the best 3 players in the league in other people's opinions?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the LeBron MVP. Like, he's always one of the top players, but at the same time, he has Kevin Love and Kyrie around him. So, do you give it to him or no?
Well, that's better.
Kevin Love and
no,
Curry?
This would be more
What?
like.
Kyrie.
Oh.
But I don't even think that's a good comparison because Nantes and Pixels both played in the Cup last season on opposite teams, and now they're both on the same team. They were the best players on each team.
I don't know. Who else do you think it would go to?
I think Fruit, if he plays D forward, can get some love this season.
Actually, I was going to say Compass from the Gunman.
Or Compass. One of those guys could get some love.
Could be someone
Um,
from Gunman.
I think this season we'll see someone like Yigi who forces their team into playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I was
without-
thinking.
Maybe Jekko. If he actually mids for the Elite Four, gets his
Actually-
team into playoffs, I will eat.
You know, I got
all
my
my words.
prediction. My prediction for MVP is going to be a former MVP winner. He's going to have a resurgence. He also beat Lindros in MVP voting. It's going to be my boy Spart.
Wait, what team is he on?
He's on the
The
keys.
Keys.
So, like, say he puts up a shit ton of numbers. Like,
I could see that.
yeah.
Docs, Belly somehow is on this team, and I could see Spart leading this team playoffs for sure. Like a good team for him.
Wait, who did you predict, Sapler? Fruit or Compass?
What was the team I just talked about? Elite Four? Someone?
Talked about Jekko as mid.
Yeah, Jekko. He plays. He could get mid of the year as well, if not that. Lindros never wins MVP somehow. Does he still not have one?
I have no idea.
I don't know. He gets Jude out of it every.
I don't know, I'm gonna stick with Lindros. I think Lindros will win it. He just makes everybody around him
He
better.
might get it.
Even
this
if it is
season.
Nantes and Pixels on his team, I still think he makes everyone better. Like he
Really?
makes it easier for everyone to play. Like
Okay, I can see that argument. What you said.
Well, yeah. So GK of the year, El Diablo probably won't show up enough, and then my team, Shot and Jeff, will probably split time there or something until we figure out who is the starter. Not
think
sure
you-
else would be GK.
You guys should just get a GK. Make it easy
We'll
on
see.
yourself. I mean, if you get a GK,
Yeah.
it's an auto win.
I think
Well, last
Diablo's
season I
gonna
spent
show
the
up
whole
enough.
season looking for a GK dude, and then Carlitos asks to get subbed out in the finals.
Just a GK
So
or
probably
mid.
just gonna repurpose someone.
Like someone like Miles, but not Miles because Miles sucks.
See, I don't know. I really don't know what my lineup is going to be yet because it's going to depend on who shows. But I could see if Iggy's going to be back there.
If Doc
through the
sends up
season.
Geek for you, he could be in contention for Geek of the year. He could probably get some love.
Yeah, that's true.
Might end up D forward though, probably. Ford might do well if his team does good. If they finish at least like 6th, he might get a few votes. I think he's GK.
If TGFP shows up to a lot of games, I think he could do it for the squares too.
He won't be GK for them at all.
Well, I don't know if Under will want a GK.
No,
Under has-
Axfob will be GK at least until playoffs. I don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah.
I don't think Under's going to be. I don't think Under's going to goalie. He's had a really bad ping recently.
He's been forward
really,
last
really bad.
3 seasons, so he'll probably want to keep going with that. He's finally gotten out of the cage.
What about mid
What?
of the year?
Oh, GM of the year? Let's talk about GM of the year.
GM of the year?
Fruit's my GM of the year.
Fruit, clearly Fruit.
The
Awesome.
amount of trades he did.
Well, right now it's Cheese Stapler, but we'll have to see.
No, I did all my work last season.
Well, I
I
mean,
got my GM of the year. I'm not doing anything.
No,
It's
hate
like
to
a
say it, but,
no-brainer
like,
pick.
He
You
had the
deserve it.
keepers, and then he had the first draft pick.
Yeah,
but you also
there's
made
no...
the trade.
I mean, that's true, but it was a last year trade.
And you
No,
had to
the
make the
Pixels
first round
trade,
pick,
he
too.
means.
Oh, over the Pixels
I
trade.
had to
yeah.
not pick NJ first overall.
I don't know. I don't think
but yeah,
anyone...
we'll see. One of the teams of the Lions, Key, or New York Hackspaw Club, of those 4 teams, someone can get like 3rd place, say, I'd definitely get that vote in.
Yeah,
What about
that's
mid of the
fair.
year? Is it pretty much Lindros? I don't know who else is...
But we already talked about
Star.
that one.
And mid.
Didn't Star was last year.
Offensive player of the year. Who's gonna?
No, we didn't talk about
finish
mid of the
top in
year.
points?
We talked about MVP.
Oh, well, kind of mentioned that.
Well,
Brought up
Mid's
Zeko.
going to be Lindros or Star.
Last season, I remember on preseason, I predicted myself. I'm gonna do the same thing this season.
Well, you
I'm
gotta
gonna-
end up on a team first.
I'm gonna
man.
end up on a D1 team in the middle of the season, and I'm just gonna put in work. You'll see.
Can you pull us behind the? Do you have any
Oh no, I haven't even
off the
touched
record, on the
Hackspaw, dude.
record?
I haven't even touched Hackspaw.
Okay.
I was gonna play it earlier, but DJ's team kept losing, so I said fuck it.
Rip. Let's go. Offensive player of the year. I think you'll love Spart for this one, huh?
Yeah, maybe Spart. Thing is, it's a risky pick because you don't know if he's actually gonna show up and be
Yeah,
dedicated.
yeah. Cell, maybe.
G-baller.
Probably
come on.
won't put up enough numbers because there's not enough passes going into him.
Well, it's gonna be a tough thing. It's like, do you pick the player on the keys or whatever that has decent stats, or the staplers who are gonna stat pad?
I don't think anyone on my team's winning offensive player of the year. It's
Yeah,
just
but
not gonna work out.
Y'all are gonna have pretty ridiculous stats. I mean,
Probably.
New York
Compass-
Hackspaw Club is a terrible roster. Y'all are gonna put up so many
I don't know
goals
who
on them.
the cherry picker on the gunman's gonna be. If it ends up being Compass, he could get some love for that. Feel me?
Do you guys real quick think that the Staplers this season are going to be a repeat of the New York Islanders from season 23?
No,
What season was that?
23.
Pick,
It was yeah. It
they had
was
a
like-
better GK by far.
Yeah,
And
we
Nika's
don't have
just-
a full
Nika's-
lineup of all stars.
I like Nantes, but Nika. And Muffin's actually a good GK. Like, I
Nantes
don't-
will fight you over that one. man.
Muffin's a god awful forward, but he's a really good GK. When he wants to
Man,
be.
I'm really disappointed we lost to Muffin and Addy coming in late. I guess Addy didn't start, but still.
Oh, he came in?
Yeah, to the Lions last season. Muffet came in and helped them win the cup over us.
I thought Compass started though, or did Addy?
No, you're
No,
right.
Compass started.
Compass, Muffin, Pixels,
Oh, can I give a shout out real quick?
for sure. Let's
Yeah.
move on to shoutouts.
No. We're not
We're
done
dragging
yet.
now.
But no, just a shout out to Luciano. You know, fucking refused to trade me there. Made me end up going to D2. Fuck you. Okay. Just had to
Good
get
call
that
out.
out. Okay. No, just talk about the bands and staff. I really think the staff needs to get their shit together. First off, they need to reduce the staff. Too many people have input. People like
No,
TGFP.
I think too little, man. It's basically
wait. Let me finish
okay.
it real quick. People
Roll
like
with it.
TGFP have no business having any input on the league. Too many trades are getting approved and rejected. Like that should never happen. And I don't know why MFK was unbanned. Like that dude.
He's not
has
even
made-
joined up though. I'm sure he's on a multi still.
Probably, yeah. But that dude has no business being unbanned with some of the things he
I
said.
disagree with that one.
A lot of
but,
personal things. Just
Maybe not too many people on staff, but there does seem to be some confusion. Hopefully you guys can sort that out. Like with Hash
Yeah.
Browns not being totally active and DJ not having total co-commish, seems like you're junior commish more than co-commish.
No, that's a fair assessment.
And then the other guys, the staff roles seem to have not been ironed out still. Like all the reasons that I left still apply.
oh no, like someone like me that just checks the post right now. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, it's Scott Baller was another one. He has no business having any input on this league after
Man,
cheating
Scott
twice.
Bala, actually, yeah, he's
Like
been in
it-
trouble quite a bit now.
Yeah.
Low key somehow.
I mean, I would really like to see some more people like DJ on staff. Get some, young energy. People that care about
KPA
the
on
league right now.
staff. Get Red Mousy on there.
Yeah.
Jokes.
Right. No, I mean if Hash Browns if Hash Browns was a lot more active, it'd be a lot better. I think he just hasn't been.
He's
able to
never
find
been
the
that guy
time
though.
recently.
That's why he's never been commissioner.
Yeah. Like he
Ian
pretty much
State
needs to
might
be
be-
like an advisor commish, basically.
Just give DJ Khaled commissioner already. Everything would be much better.
No, but the problem is I don't know how to do like 90% of the stuff on the site. Like they keep teaching me, and it's just really, really complicated. Like apparently, Scooter would yell at Nipey every single week last year, or the last like few seasons, because he would mess up the site.
And
I know, but-
before Nate becomes staff again, I'm calling it here. Heard it here first.
I think he's gonna probably be doing match reports.
All right, let's
Other
move on to
than that,
shoutouts. We're
I
kind of
don't know.
Yeah,
dragging here.
let's go on to shoutouts.
Shout out to
DJ,
Jeremy
we'll
Lin.
we'll give you first shout out, DJ.
Probably give it to some of the new guys, like specifically the entire Lions squad, because those are the guys who've been really pubbing recently and getting good draft results.
Yeah, if Flare, Question, and Sniper Autistical, I mean, that guy, I think he plays the sniper game like all the time. I remember playing against him. But
Yeah,
if
I
they
mean,
can come
those
good, it'd be
guys-
cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see some of those guys really make a dent in this league and see what they could do.
Shout out to 5RR. Totally hyped for him to be picked in the first round, I think.
Yeah,
I think he can fully carry this team for sure.
Do y'all mind if I give a few shout outs right now?
No, go for it.
I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Clutch, 2 Bartman, X9M, and Alvin Toastage. They were all my teammates on League of Legends. I made it back into Plat.
All right, that's a wrap.
Also, shout out to Jeremy Lin.